Hello everyone, I'm back. This is Dr. Priya Singh. I'm a cosmetic dentist. I have a clinic named Impressionz Dental Care, which is in Mumbai for the past 10 years. Now, in my previous video, I had spoken about things to remember while deciding on the infrastructure of the clinic. In this video, I'm going to talk about the equipments of the clinic. Now, nowadays everything is coming into packages. Okay, when you go for a chair, your compressor, your handpiece, your autoclave, your scaler, everything would come into package. That is fine, whatever package you go for. What today I'm going to talk is small details about each thing, so that when you buy, you can opt for those things for better results. Okay. Now, in the previous video, I had advocated that I believe in two-chair practice. Now, why is that? First, like all equipments, the chair is going to give you troubles, or the chair is going to complain after 2 to 3 years, or say maximum after 4 years, it is bound to give you troubles. So when you have a two-chair practice, suppose one chair is not working, you can easily work on the other chair, because God forbid dono chair ek sath kharab ho, it's very difficult. So you don't have to shut your clinic down, and that way you will not miss out on patients. So that way two-chair practice is far better. Also, if your specialist is utilizing the chair for 2 to 3 hours, your orthodontist has longer appointments, or your oral surgeon, that way also you can have a second chair at hand. Thirdly, what I believe that you should not lose on even one patient, because losing on one patient means you lose the entire family circle, the entire friend circle of that patient, the word of mouth which was going to spread. So when you are on a longer appointment, say a root canal, you are taking an hour on the chair, and a new walk-in patient is in immense pain, you don't want to lose on that patient, because that patient will not wait for so much time and will go to the nearby dentist. So if you can just take that patient on the next chair, just write a prescription or advise an OPG and tell him that I will give you the treatment plan later, he will feel attended, and that way you will not lose on patients. So if you can afford, please go ahead with two-chair practice. That will be far better in your clinical success. Now, when we are talking about chair, whether you go for Indian chair, whether you go for imported chairs are better, because I have an experience with them that they work better for a longer period of time. Of course, small like I said, complaints would come, but at least they survive well. But the minimum thing that you have to understand, that the service center or the servicing of that chair should be good. That way people can reach faster to your clinic to mend it, and you can get to work faster. So whatever chair you select, first thing that you have to understand, that the service should be better in your area. Along with that, whether you can go for a white light or yellow light would be your decision. For color matching, white light is better, but in my personal experience, I have used yellow light for a very long time, and that worked fine. The tray table should be bigger, so that you can use a lot of materials on that, and your working efficiency is better. So that way you can decide for the chair. Second is the compressor. About compressors, you should go for an oil-free compressor, which is single 1 HP double piston compressor. Now, for a single chair, many people would tell you that even if you go for 0.75 HP or a single piston, it completely works fine. But I have experienced that अगर आप 0.75 HP का लेते हो, तो while doing crown cuttings or when you use handpiece for long, your suction and your handpiece will not work together. So that way it becomes very chaotic, and then you have to wait for the pressure to build up and all. So you should go for double piston and 1 HP oil-free compressors for better efficiency. Next is, if there is a power cutoff or a power shortage in your area, you should go with an inverter or a stabilizer for that. Next is autoclave. Now, please take sterilization very seriously. Do ethical practice, which I keep telling in all the videos. Go for a steam sterilizer. That is the best way to achieve sterilization. So select that. There are autoclaves which come with timer, so it is very easy to use. You can set it, and then you can do your work, and then it will shut down on its own. So you should select autoclaves which have inbuilt timer in it. Next is an X-ray unit. X-ray unit, again, There are units which has short arm and long arm, so you can ask for that. If your chair is away, there is a provision where you can use that. Suppose your wall is very far from your chair setup, you can always use a long arm. That is better. Always use an RVG if possible, because your working efficiency increases, no doubt. You can see a better x-ray, but you get far more lesser exposed, because the patient would get x-ray only once, but you are going to take x-ray no matter whether you wear a lead apron or whatever. You are bound to get exposed. So if you select for RVG, it's far better in long run. Also, there are self-developing x-rays which are available in market. So suppose your RVG is not working for some reason, you can immediately go with that. That doesn't require developing and all that, so immediately you can develop it and use it. Laptop goes without saying that if you have an RVG, you would require a laptop. So see that whatever compatibility is required for the RVG, आपके पास वो हो. Ultrasonic scaler, a must, because cleaning के लिए you need that, but you should opt with LED light wala scaler, because that is what has come in market, and it is far better to do scaling with that, especially in the posterior area or 8 region. The efficiency is far better. Micromotor usually chair के साथ में inbuilt आता है, shouldn't be a problem for you all. Light cure, please invest in a better light cure, because I have seen composites failing and people having sensitivity issues just because your light cure is not working well. So invest in a good light cure. See, the warranty and everything is good. Whatever cordless is available, go with cordless stuffs, easy to use. Apex locator, it's a revolution in endodontics. So if your budget permits, please invest in apex locator, because I am an ardent believer that in comparison to RVG, the next best thing which is available is an apex locator. Obviously, your perfection in endodontics increases to by 90%, but your number of x-rays taking and the other hassles which is involved becomes far lesser. Once you get used to apex locator, I don't think you'll ever go back. So please invest in apex locator if you can, and if not, the next best thing which you can buy after you start your clinic should be apex locator. Endomotor, obviously rotary endodontics is the most advanced thing which is there, and आप जो भी conferences attend करेंगे या lectures attend करेंगे, अब कोई भी hands root canal के बारे में advocate नहीं करता है, तो rotary endodontics करिए. I believe in that, and if you do rotary, then endomotor is required. Apart from that, BP machine is something that you should keep in your clinic for patients who have hypertension. BP तभी का तभी you can see and then decide whether you want to go ahead with it. Medical emergency kit, it is required. God forbid use करना ना पड़े आपको, but in dire circumstance, please keep one for safe side. ये सब के अलावा handpiece is one thing which I forgot. Handpiece is most vital for your clinical practice, but I feel you should go ahead with Chinese handpieces जो 2000 rupees में available होते हैं. You can keep 4 or 5 handpieces because whether you go for a good quality or whether you go for a Chinese handpiece, they all work for the same number of years. अगर आपके पास 4-5 handpieces हैं तो there's always a backup if one gets spoiled. You can autoclave it after every patient. उसमें भी LED handpieces आते हैं which I use all the time because they are very easy to use. So go ahead with LED handpieces. Swipe card machine. After demonetization, I think everybody wants to go for cashless and everybody wants to pay by card. So keep that in your clinic so that patients can have that ease. Mobile phone and landline, goes without saying कि communication के लिए you will have to keep one. Keep your personal number and your clinic number separate so that your privacy is maintained. You would need AC 1, 2 or 3 depending on how much big area you have for the reception one, for your operatory one. So AC, AquaGuard like I had spoken before, for water purposes, and for your chair also use AquaGuard water for better life of your chair. TV if you wish. Fridge again for material storage, and ice, suppose you need to give the patient ice for application, and water of course. If you keep fridge, nothing like it. Apart from that, if you can or if you wish, keep a implant kit handy because implant is next revolution in dentistry. all these things may I feel थोड़े चीजें optional है when your clinic picks up, like the apex locator or the implant system you can take later on also. So I feel more or less I have covered everything, but in equipments. But in my next video, I am going to talk solely on your assistant training and assistant management, which is again a very vital thing in your clinical setup. Apart from that, I want you guys to subscribe to my channel and do comment on what all things you people want me to talk about. And please do keep in touch. Till then, bye bye.